What is good, my Rags and Fitness people, my Rags and Fitness folks, my Rags and Fitness fam? It's your man Rags back off up in this thing. When I tell you I'm off up in this thing, I'm talking about I'm knee deep all the way off up in it. Guys, please, let's continue to keep God first. Let's live in his name, in his word, right? Guys, I won't give you no introduction today. I won't do all that intro stuff. Let's jump right into it, guys. And I will say this, by the look of the thumbnail, by the title of the video, guys, you guys can see what I believe the crystal ball is pointing to for the next head coach of the Crimson Tide football team, guys, right? So let's jump into it. Let's jump right into this thing, guys. I want to start off by saying this, and I want to make this perfectly clear, guys. Please look into my eyes, open your ears up, and listen to what I'm about to tell you, right? I want to tell you this. This is by no means a rags pick. This is by no means who I'm saying I want to be the head coach of Alabama. This is what I just feel like the signs are pointing to this guy, and we've said it for years to come. We've been mentioning this name, right? Me, before I get into this guy's name, the two guys that I would want the most right now is maybe Sarkisian and Lane Kiffin, right? Steve Sarkisian and Lane Kiffin, if we're talking about who Rags want to be the head coach, right? I would tell you this, the first guy I would want is Steve Sarkisian, right? I see the way he went to Texas and turned that program around. He had those guys in the playoffs. He came to Tuscaloosa, beat Alabama, right? What more do you need? Firsthand, we saw it. He gave us lumps upside our head, right? I like what he's doing. I like that he's an offensive-minded coach. I know that he can get a defensive coordinator around him to make this defense potent, right? I know that these things can happen with Mr. Steve Sarkisian. But here's the thing with Mr. Steve Sarkisian, right? Will he be willing to come to Alabama, right? It's a two-way street, guys. Not only do we have to want a guy to come to us, but that guy have to want to be at the capstone. He has to want to be at Alabama. And right now with this guy, he's at a pretty prestigious premier program right now in the Texas Longhorns, guys. And I really don't see it. I would love to, guys, because this is the guy that I would love to have more than anybody, probably right now, Mr. Steve Sarkisian. I don't see him leaving that program, guys. I just don't see it. That would make me very happy. Prove me wrong, prove this crystal ball wrong. I don't care nothing about the pride part of it. I'm just saying, I don't believe it. I don't see it happening. The next guy we're going to talk about, Mr. Lane Kiffin, right? Lane Kiffin is a guy that I think is he could teeter the fence a little bit. I believe that we may could get him, and I think he may would want to come back, right? But it's the thing of one thing about Lane Kiffin that I don't believe would be that enticing for him is to be in the shadow of Nick Saban. It was okay as long as he was right next to Nick Saban and had the guidance of Nick Saban. But when you're on that field, you can't really ask Nick Saban for pointers right then and there. It's a difference, guy. I'm saying that to say this, man. The pressure that Mr. Lane Kiffin would have on him right away, it would be tough. It would be, I mean, thick pressure on him right away to actually perform right. Now we had a lot of guys saying that, hey, Lane Kiffin might not be a guy for the program because he don't really go by the Alabama way. He's going to tweet what he want to tweet. He's going to go by the beat of his own drum. Guys, if you think about it, that's really the Nick Saban's way, right? Nick Saban is that guy that's pretty much by the book. He's by the process. Alabama is like that too, but we've had coaches that wasn't really, you know, and they did pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I believe Lane Kiffin would be able to come in and win with us. Maybe even get us over the top. I don't know, but it's just one of those things. Will he be willing to come in and just have that pressure on him, guys? That's what I'm wondering when it comes to Lane Kiffin. This next name that I'm about to name is the guy that I believe will be the head coach of the University of Alabama. And guys, I'm not just saying this just because his name's been out there for forever. I'm not just saying that because he's alumni. I just feel like it's pointing to him, right? When you just look at it, everything Alabama really wants, right? And I know what you guys are going to say. You're going to say, we don't want this guy. We don't want nothing to do with him. He's not an Alabama guy the way that we remember him as being Alabama. We don't want nothing to do with it. But guys, just listen. Just listen to what I'm about to tell you. I'm not making this point for rags, right? I'm just telling you, do not be surprised when they mention this guy as Alabama's next head coach. And you know who I'm talking about. We're talking about Mr. Dabo Swinney himself, guys. That's who we're talking about. I just have this strange feeling in my bones. The crystal ball is pointing towards Dabo Swinney. I've heard all of these guys get on here and say, "Hey, this hire is going to shock the world," and all of this, guys. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I believe it's going to be a hire that's going to be safe. I believe it's going to be a hire that's going to make sense after we look at it. It's just get off the surface of it and go deep and look at it. It's going to make sense. And it's something that we can live with, guys. I believe it's going to be something that we can live with. All of the talks was about Dan Lanning. And if you watch the video that I made last night, I said it out of my mouth. I don't know about Dan Lanning. I think you guys are reaching a little bit when it comes to Dan Lanning. Have he really won anything yet? Have he really been, I mean, as a head coach, you got to talk about a winner as a head coach, not a coordinator, not almost getting there, not almost being okay, but have you won? Have you showed that you can be a winner? It's different. It's levels to this. You can make it every year. Look how Georgia did Mark Richt when Mark Richt was doing good and recruiting and getting those guys to a certain level, but he just couldn't win the big game, right? He couldn't get over the hump sometimes. Guys, you can get there, but if you can't get over that hump, it's no good, guys. Washington, they couldn't get over that Washington hump. And I don't believe that, maybe I shouldn't go there with talking about the schedule of the Pac-12 and all that stuff. That's neither here nor there. But I will say this, guys. That Dan Lanning boat has sailed. It's gone. It's out of here. Whether you like it or not, he's not coming to Alabama. He said it already. We've seen guys change their minds in the past. Hey, Nick Saban changed his mind. He told guys he wasn't coming to Alabama, but he did it, right? I'm saying this. I think that he's a great fit over there in Oregon. We wish you the best of luck. But right now, it's business, right? We're looking for the next head coach of Alabama. Okay, so let's keep going with Mr. Dabo Swinney and reasons why I believe that he's going to be the guy that they're going to look at, right? Nick Saban just announced earlier that he's going to still be in the background. That may be something that Mr. Dabo Swinney don't like, somebody looming over his shoulders and watching it. I don't even know if that's what Mr. Nicholas Saban going to do. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't overstep his boundaries, but it would just be that presence of Nick Saban that's there that could kind of give you goosebumps, right? When you're trying to be that guy that's the head guy and take the program to the top, and you got this giant sitting over you, watching you, critiquing you, right? That's just something it's just there, right? But I don't really believe that Mrs. Nick Saban will, like I say, overstep his boundaries, right? So let's talk about Mr. Dabo Swinney, guys. I think we've all forgotten that Mr. Dabo Swinney is a winner, right? You could talk bad about him all you want to, but here's the thing, this reality that you got to look at. This very well could be your next head coach, guys. So if he is, what are you going to do? Are you going to embrace him, or are you going to get off the bandwagon and go somewhere? I'm just saying, this could very well be your next head coach. And let's talk about Mr. Dabo Swinney real quick, right? Mr. Dabo Swinney, he's from Alabama, right? He's from Birmingham, Alabama. He's 54 years old, right? This guy here, man, he's the head coach currently of Clemson, right? Let's read off some of his accolades. Let's read off his record real quick, right? 170-43 as a head coach. That's not bad, guys. That's not bad at all when you look at this college football landscape, right? Man, we're gonna look right here at his coaching career, right? His coaching career, let's talk about it. This guy has so much Alabama in him. I mean, 1993 to 1995, he was an Alabama GA, right? 1996, he was an Alabama wide receiver / tight end coach. 97, he was an Alabama tight end coach. 98 through 2000, he was a wide receivers coach. From 2003 to 2006, he wound up going to Clemson being a wide receiver coach. From 2007, 2008, he was the Clemson wide receiver coach. And 2008, Clemson intern head coach, and then in 2009 to present, 2009, they made him the actual head coach of Clemson. And like I say, overall, he's 170-43, guys. In bowl games, he's 12-8. In the tournament, the college football playoffs, he's 6-4. I mean, He's a proven winner. He's won, guys. Let's talk about his accomplishments and honors. He's got 2 national championships. He won one in 2016, 2018, guys. He's got 8 ACC championships. He's got 10 ACC Atlantic Division championships. His awards, he's a 3-time Paul Bear Bryant Award winner. AFCA Coach of the Year, AP College Football Coach of the Year. I mean, I could just spout all of these out. Home Depot Coach of the Year. I could go all day long talking about this guy's accolades, man. And when you think about it, right now we're just looking at the present Dabo Swinney, and what we're doing is we're judging him off of a season. I think the 2023, this past season is what we're really judging him off of, because he didn't really do too good. But if you're judging him off of that season before that, the 2022, he won the ACC title, ladies and gentlemen. He finished the season around number 6 or something like that, man. This guy's a winner. He's a winner. So if you get this guy, you could talk about him all day. Yeah, he don't like to do the portal stuff, right? I'm sorry, guys. All right. He don't really like to do the portal stuff, right? He don't like the transfer portal and all that. But guys, this is something that we can work on. This is not a deal breaker. This is something that we can get him to work on, right? I'm pretty sure AD talked to him, asked him, hey, man, what's your future plans with us? And you got to discuss this, guy. You got to look into the transfer portal, right? Recruiting is a big deal. This guy's not that bad on the recruiting trail. I was just looking in the last few years. He's got like, he was the number I think this year he's the number 12th class. Last year he was like the number 11th, then he was number 10th, and then he was up in the number 3, 4, 5. Like, he's always had pretty good recruiting classes, man. And I believe that this guy can come in and can recruit pretty well with Alabama. Guys, I'm looking down at my phone right now to see if we have any updates coming in. I see some stuff coming in, but it's not from Alabama. It's from other recruits committing, I think, basketball and stuff like that. But guys, like I said, man, you got to understand what we would be getting if we get Mr. Lane Kiffin. And I think it's a big chance. I think it's a high chance that this guy is going to be our next head coach. And here's some of the reasons why I believe this, right? I believe that Mr. Dabo Swinney is going to be our next head coach because of some of the things he's been going through at Clemson, right? You remember him getting on the radio, talking to the kid and kind of going back and forth with the kid on why he should be there and why he shouldn't be there and all this stuff, right? This stuff begins to take a toll on you and you begin to feel unappreciated, right? So the next step you do when you feel unappreciated, you get out of there. You pack your bags and you get out of there. And this will be a starting over new for Mr. Dabo Swinney. Not only will it be a starting over new, but he will be coming back to familiar territory, right? And it's always good to go back to a familiar place, right? You're not going to a unfamiliar land that you don't know the layout, you don't know how to get here, you don't know how to get there. But guys, one thing that we don't take into account is the spouses and the kids of these coaches. I knew when they kept saying Dan Lanning, man, you can't just poach him away from there without going through his family first. And from what I hear, his family, his wife, and all those people, they love it up there in Eugene, Oregon, or his kids, or whoever that they was talking about, his family, they love it up there in Eugene, Oregon, man. Hey, I just feel like I say, Dabo's got he's got the ties, man. And I'm not campaigning for him. I'm just telling you why. I'm telling you this. This is the reason why I'm bringing all of this stuff up. Because when he become our head coach, I don't want you guys to be taken by surprise and not knowing his accolades and not knowing. And I know you guys know. It's not like I'm just telling you something that you don't know. But sometimes we tend to forget when a coach is not right at the forefront at this time, like right now, you know, at the present time, we tend to forget, right? A lot of people say, well, Dabo is not up with the times. That's something that we can get together. We can get this stuff knocked out. Who, if we did get Dabo Swinney, who would be his offensive coordinator and his defensive coordinator? He's a little bit younger. I think he's 54 years old. I think I stated earlier in this video, right? 54 years old, you still got a little spunk about you. You still got that get up and get at you about you, right? And I think that he can still recruit at a high level. I feel like he can still go out and compete on this football field at a high level. He's not the youngest, but he's most definitely not the oldest. He's the 54 years old. That's that right age to where you know you got the wisdom and experience. But you're old enough not to be too freaking old. You get what I'm saying? So we know that we got a coach. We would be getting a coach that would be there for a little bit of time, guys. And like I said, once again, I do not want you guys coming at me in the comment section. I don't want Dabo. I don't want Dabo. I'm just telling you that I can see signs pointing towards Dabo Swinney. There's going to be a lot of people on here, right? They're saying we're going to get a coach within the next 24 hours, the next 72 hours. I'm telling you this now. Look out for Dabo Swinney. When you see that pop across your ESPN ticker, your 247 ticker, all of your tickers, whoever you're committed to or you subscribe to, they're going to be releasing this news, and I believe it's going to be soon, man. And I believe that Dabo Swinney, like I said, is going to be the next coach, because I just feel it in my bones, man. I got a fun fact for you. We talk about the greats of Alabama, right? Two of the greatest ever, the coach at Alabama is Nick Saban and Paul Bear Bryant, right? So speaking of the retirement of Nick Saban, when Bear Bryant retired, his successor was Ray Perkins. And Ray Perkins was another one of those guys that he played at Alabama, right? Not only did he play at Alabama, he was a wide receiver at Alabama, right? So now we begin to see like history repeating itself if you think about it. I'm just saying how you could look at it. I mean, this doesn't really play any part into anything, but I'm just telling you, right? I'm just bringing this point up. Ray Perkins was a wide receiver for Alabama, right? And he ended up, later on in life taking the job after Paul Bear Bryant relinquished his duties, right, when he retired. So I'm saying that to say this. I mean, look, what is Dabo Swinney? I mean, he played at the University of Alabama. He was a receiver. So it's kind of eerily similar. You know what I mean? Like, it's got that history repeating itself type thing to it, guys. Hey, man, that's just something I want to throw out there, man. I'm going to put the thumbnail on there. I know you guys are going to see it. A lot of people's going to be mad and not going to like it because they want that fresh, hot thing. They'll rather have like the Glenn Schumans or somebody that's not really proven. But when you're the head of Alabama, when you're Mr. Burns and you're making this decision, you want to make sure you make something that's pretty sure. Somebody that's won before, somebody that know how to get to the big game, prepare for the big game. The lights is not too big for them, right? And I believe that Dabo Swinney is that guy. I mean, he's that guy. And like we said, we could say Lane Kiffin. He's been there before. Steve Sarkisian's been there before, but they was there as coordinators, guys. If you don't think that makes a difference, it makes a big difference. When you're the head guy, you're the guy that's making the decisions. You're the executive. You're making the executive decisions, right? What goes here? What goes there? What do we do next? Like, what speech do we make next? Mr. Dabo Swinney, I said Dabo Swinney. Mr. Dabo Swinney still has a little fire about him, guys. And I would tell you this. I'm not campaigning for him. I'm saying this once again. If we get the guy, I'm going to embrace the guy. And I believe that that's going to be our next head coach, guys. That's where my crystal ball is pointing to. Hey, man, it's a brand new day in the Alabama Christmas Time Football Nation, guys. We must get ready for this journey. We must get ready for this ride, guys. We're going to go along with it. Let me tell you something before I get out of here, guys. We have the nation against us right now. So the best thing we can do is come together, embrace this next coach, get behind him. Let's pack out this A-Day that's coming up in April. Guys, let's do it. Let's do the daggone thing. I want to hear a billion roll ties around the nation. That's what I want to hear, man. I want to, man, guys, what else? What's the most crazy thing that can happen, right? Guess what? We get a new coach. The world is down on Alabama. They're saying they're done. Not only did they have a bad season this year because they lost 2 games, right, and went to the college football playoffs and lost in the playoffs, right? They're going to classify that as a bad season, right? But what if we get this new head coach, right? And this guy come in, he's a great recruiter, he's a great leader. He help you bounce back, be resilient, guys. He's a no-nonsense type guy. That fourth quarter program is still going to exist. We're still going to have some of the highest technology, some of the best equipment, the best facilities around. And this guy going to get us back to that mountaintop. And this guy going to be young. This guy's going to be fresh. He's going to be that shot, that B12 shot we're going to get. And he's going to make the resurgence come out, man. And we're going to win another national championship. Could you imagine the college football landscape when Alabama ends up in the playoffs, making noise, right? 12-team playoff, make noise and get to the end and win it all? Could you imagine? Mr. Jalen Milroe, we need you. We need Mr. Deontay Lawson to be the leaders of this team. Corral everybody around you guys. Get together and let them know you guys are a team no matter who's the head coach. And let's go out and win ball, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to be at the mountaintop screaming, roll tide, roll, baby. Guys, I feel like I've been here talking forever, man. This is the time of year we're going to do this, guys. Hey, this is the new year. This is the new Bama team. This is the new of the new. And we're coming out with new. All of the old get out the way. This 2024, this is the beginning of the new earth. And Alabama is going to be the new leaders of it, baby. So let's go. Hey, man, I know you love looking at me deep down into my eyes. But guess what? I got to get up out of here already. Yeah.